Hello everyone. Today I have taken one logical reasoning question from the CAT 2020 question paper. The question has provided information about a survey. A survey of 600 schools in India was conducted to gather information about their online teaching learning processes. The following four facilities were studied. Facilities F1, F2, F3 and F4. I'm not going into the details. And they have given a set of information about the survey. There are 9 set of informations provided about the survey, and based on this information a number of questions have been asked in the CAT paper. Let us now understand the combinations of the facilities that can be possible in the schools. There can be schools where none of the facilities are there. There can be schools which have only one of the facilities, for example only F1 or only F2 or only F3 and only F4. There are 4 such combinations. And there can be schools where there are 2 of the facilities like F1 F2, F1 F3, F1 F4, F2 F3, F2 F4 and F3 F4. There are 6 such combinations. There can be schools with 3 of the facilities, F1 F2 F3, F1 F2 F4, F1 F3 F4 and F2 F3 F4. There are 4 such combinations. And there can be schools which has all the 4 facilities. So let us now fill in the information provided in this table. The first information is 80 schools did not have any of the 4 facilities, which is this row having schools with none of the 4 facilities. This is 80 schools. The second information is 40 schools had all 4 facilities. I think this is the last combination. So 40 schools had all 4 facilities. Next is the number of schools with only F1, only F2, only F3 and only F4 was 25, 30, 26 and 20 respectively. This is the combinations which are having only one of the facilities. So sequentially it is 25, 30, 26 and 20 respectively. Next information provided is the number of schools with exactly 3 of the facilities was the same irrespective of which 3 were considered. Let us go for the combinations having 3 facilities. There are 4 such combinations: F1 F2 F3, F1 F2 F4, F1 F3 F4 and F2 F3 F4. All these 4 combinations, the number of schools is the same. Let us assume the number be X. Next information is 313 schools had facility F2. So this I'll have to explain it in detail. It doesn't say whether it is only F2 or in combination with other facilities. So all the combinations where F2 is ticked, the summation of this combinations is 313. Next information is 26 schools had only F2 and F3 but neither F1 and F4. This is one of the combination having 2 facilities. Having 2 facilities, F2 and F2 and F3. This is 26 number of schools. It does not have F1 and F4. Next information is among the schools having F4, 24 had only F3 and 45 had only F2. This is again a combination of 2 facilities with F4. Among the schools having F4, 24 had only F3. So which is F3 and F4? Only F3 and F4 is 24. And similarly 45 schools had only F2 and F4. F4 and F2 is 45 schools. So next information is 162 schools had both F1 and F2. Here, having both F1 and F2, there are multiple combinations. It can be only 2 of the facilities or sometimes with other facilities like combinations with 3 or all 4. So let us now take all those combinations where F1 and F2 are there. So F1 and F2, this combination, let us assume this to be Y. So Y plus, now there can be combinations with 3 facilities, F1 F2 F3, F1 F2 F4. So these 2 combinations, number of schools is X and X. And all 4 facilities F1, F2, F3 and F4, which is 40. This sums up to 162, which is 2x plus y is equal to 122. This is one equation that we have got from the information provided. The last information is the number of schools having F1 was the same as the number of schools having F4. This is like all the combinations where F1 is there and all the combinations where F4 is there, they are saying it is the same. Let us assume this is Z and this will also be Z. So with this information provided, we'll have to find out the missing information, like these two rows. Let's say this is P and Q. We have to find out X, Y, P, Q in order to solve the questions given based on the information. So we have got one equation. Let us find out if there are any other equations that can be arrived at from the information provided. There is one information wherein it says the number of schools having F2 is 313. So let us now calculate. This is 30, this is Y, this is 26, this is 45, this is X, X, X and 40. So when we sum up all this information, this comes out to 3x plus y plus sum of all those is 141 is equal to 313, which is 3x plus y is equal to 172. This is equation number 2. From these two equations, subtracting 1 from 2, 2 minus 1, this is x will be there, y and y will cancel out, 3x minus 2x is x, so x will be 50. So all these combinations have 50 number of schools. All the combinations with having 3 facilities is 50. So from one of the equations, we'll be able to find out what is y. So let us take equation number 1. So 2x is 100 in equation number 1. 2x is 100 plus y is equal to 122, which gives y is equal to 22. So this combination of having F1 and F2, there are 22 number of schools. The other information that is available to us is the number of schools having F1 facility and number of schools having F4 facility is the same. So let us now find out what these two figures are. So I'm summing up the number of schools having F1 and the number of schools having F4 . So summing up all this becomes 237 plus P plus Q equals to 279 plus Q. So Q and Q will cancel out and P is equal to 42. So with this information, we have found out what is the value of P. So now the last information that we have is given in the question. The survey says there are 600 schools. So the total number of schools with all these combinations should be 600. So now we have to sum up all this. We have all the other figures except for Q. So all the other numbers add up to 580 plus Q is equal to 600. So Q is equal to 20. Now we have calculated all the values of the unknown variables. Let us now try and answer the questions. What was the total number of schools having exactly 3 of the 4 facilities? So there are 4 such combinations having 3 of the facilities. As per the information given, all of them are same, and we have found out x, which is 50. So summing up all 4 combinations, 50 into 4 is 200. The second question is, what was the number of schools having facilities F2 and F4? Here we have to see all the combinations where these 2 facilities are available. So it will start from combinations having 2 facilities, which is F1, F2 and F2 and F4. So F2 and F4, this combination 45, plus next combination with f2 and f4 will come in 3 combinations: f1 f2 f1 f2 f4 and f2 f3 f4, which are both 50 and 50. And the last combination, all 4 facilities where f2 and f4 are there. So this sums up to 185. The option is A. Next question is, what was the number of schools having only facilities f1 and f3? Only facilities f1 and f3 is one of the combinations having 2 facilities where f1 and f3, which is p, for which the value we have found it as 42. The answer to this question is 42. And the last question is, what was the number of schools having only facilities f1 and f4? Again, this is one of the combinations having 2 facilities f1 and f4, for which we had given a variable of q and the value is 20, and hence the answer is 20. Hope all of you have understood how the problem has been solved. We'll come up with more such problems on logical reasoning from the CAT question papers. Thank you.